Hi, my name is Carrie Beyer from Carrie's Healing Space, and I am an author, an intuitive artist, and a healer. And I just wanted to talk to you about why I do this. So about like 10, 12 years ago, I was in a really dark place. I just kind of had, I was raising kids. I was buckled down and, just doing all those kid stuff. But I was not even, connecting to myself at all. I didn't realize how much of a connection there is between our body and our mind. And therefore, my body actually had a lot of issues. I had heart trouble. I had a lump on my breast. I had also migraines constantly, and I wasn't sure how to get out of this. I really thought my only option is to be sick and possibly to die. My aunt had died when she was 35, so I thought, yep, that's the way I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna be sick and die. So I just had a lot of anxiety at the time, just hoping that one day I would find another, not even another option, because I didn't think there was another option. So I just kind of was going along this kind of area, and there was kind of a few things that took place that kind of catapulted me to investigating my own, what went on in childhood, and how this could help to heal. So there were kind of two people that were really significant in this. One, I went for an eye test, and this guy was telling me a story about how he has another client and she's just really having trouble, and he told her, listen, I can't do anything else for you. Maybe you should go and look into your trauma from your past, and maybe that'll help. And I was like, boom, what? This is, yeah, of course, that would help. And just before that, I had talked to a friend who suggested this book that talked about how our bodies and our minds are very connected, right? If some part of our body is hurting, that there is a direct connection to an attitude that you have, or to this emotion that you have about your life, kind of thing. So I had read this book, and it was all of it was just very on point to what I was feeling at the time. The breaths are about nurturing, and your head is talking about what is wrong with me, right? If you have a headache or something wrong with your head, it's you have this thought of what is wrong with me. And then so I finally, my last straw was the one day I smashed my finger in the door. And it's so funny. It's such a it seems like a small thing, but at that time it was that, 2x4 to the head saying, Carrie, get to somebody to help you, because you can get out of this, And I smashed my finger, and I had this huge blood blister in my nail, and my husband's like, do you want me to drill a hole in there? And I was like, no, I'm good. And then that night I finally was like, just drill the hole, I'm done with this. And so it's just that attitude of so much pain, and I feel my whole body was in so much pain that I had had enough, and I was like, no more pain. So the next day, after I slammed my finger in the door, I called this one lady who she had offered her help the year before, and I said, is your offer still on, because I need help? And we talked through a lot of stuff, like just a lot of work with healing my inner child. And then she also introduced me to painting in a new way, right? In this way of getting out of your head and listening to your heart. So that was my kind of like beginning of this. And then I learned about BodyTalk, and I learned about access consciousness and these ideas that are limiting beliefs when we change those, when we disconnect the emotion from the pain of keeping these two, the belief of whatever it is, like good and bad or right and wrong. When we detach the emotion from there and are able to choose next, like every time, a new way. Like, say maybe one time it's important to be kind and gentle, but the other time it's important for you to be the bitch. And those two are sometimes so far apart, but when we get to choose without our emotion that hurts us, right, every time, then we can choose in a way that is amazing, right? That's just for us. It's just like taking those blinders off, getting rid of our brain and listening to our heart. That next time maybe I need to defend somebody, so I need to be the bitch. But maybe one time I just need to be kind and loving, and either is good, and accepting those pieces about ourselves. So this has been my journey, and the art is like huge in my path here, and just using the art for healing and to show us different things about ourselves, and just listening to our hearts as we paint. And sometimes it's going to end up, like behind me, like just color all over the place, and maybe sometimes it's going to end up like, if you can see this one in the corner, which is dark, and that's okay either way, and each one shows me just something different. I also wrote a book later on, and I just I'm so excited about this, the process of being artistic and expressing myself, and I feel that it's so important to let our hearts out and express ourselves and just shine, and it's just for you, like nobody else can help you to see things about yourself. You are the one who gets to look inside, look at your heart, and see what's happening in there. And does this mean that we need to rehash all of our pains and traumas from the past? No, not necessarily. But it's also about accepting both pieces of us, right? Because that is what it's about. And about having, and it doesn't mean you're like, I accept everything about it. But, some days I don't accept all of the stuff, right? But it's a constant journey. And yeah, I hope that you guys are able to find your path and your path to healing. All right, take care.